Simplified Chaos, episode 198.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey everyone, welcome to Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, and I'm with my co-host and toe tickler, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? Don't know what that's all about.
Actually,
we're playing footsies right now because we're sitting around this small table, gathering around a microphone. It's the poor man's podcast here. No, I'm just kidding.
Submitted to the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this story. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you're going to have to go way back to Nickelodeon to get that reference, folks. Anyways, we've got another great episode here for you. This is 198, so we're counting down to our final episodes of Simplified Chaos. This means 2 more left after this one. So hopefully you all are soaking it in. Good God.
That too.
Yes, that too. But, Jilly, what are we getting into today?
We're doing a little shooting the shit episode.
Yeah.
Where we just talk about life, what's been happening, because we did not record last week, and there's been a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah.
And it'd be just fun just to...
Lots of good vibes to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
And some good reflections and things that I'll just pour out on here, because this is the great place to do it.
Yeah, well, let us all reflect together, and before we do that, let's share some gratitude. So, Jilly, what are you grateful for this week?
I am grateful for that beautiful lake we have across the street.
It is a very nice lake. Very clean.
Lucille and I had a very, very slow morning because yesterday was a very filled day at the orchard, where I call farm school. So I was just like, let's just see what happens. And we spent a lot of time playing inside, getting the sunshine in, had the windows open thanks to you. I feel like I'm still getting used to the fact that we can open our windows now.
Fresh air. Got to get it in when you can.
So, I think it was like around noon. I was like, why don't we ride over to the lake? And she's like, yeah. So I packed up her backpack, packed up her e-bike, and she put on her bathing suit. And I was like, yeah, I don't even know if she's going to need her bathing suit. So damn happy she put on her bathing suit, because homegirl's in the water.
Yeah, she's a polar plunger.
And the water felt so good too. Like, it was cold, but once you stay in a spot for a while, it's like, this water is just divine. So
she knows what's up.
Yes. So we were hanging out at the beach probably for a good 3 hours.
Yeah, you guys were gone quite a bit.
And they had these amazing huge umbrellas, and they're out now. They take them down for winter and fall, and they were out today. So we were just soaking in sun, soaking in shade. One of our neighbors joined us too, and it was just a lovely day. And it's weird. Those days I like it when I come back and I'm like, holy shit, it's dinner time. We were having so much fun today. I completely forgot what time it is. And those are the days that I'm just like, I am so grateful that we have the space to do those. And it was really awesome. And I'm got some more sun to add on to my farm school days.
Yeah, you do.
So I feel very sun-kissed and...
Getting that vitamin D.
Yep. But yeah, it was just a really, really great day. I'm just still in awe that we have that at our fingertips, and yeah, it was good. What about you?
Maybe not for long.
What do you mean?
The popo.
Oh yeah, so we're not technically members at this lake, and we were told through the grapevine that you can walk over and you can bike over, and it's cool. But apparently, I don't know, there's some hooligans causing chaos.
Hoodlums.
Over at the neighborhood, and the little popo in the lake community came and stopped me and were like, hey, are you a member here? And I'm like, no. This is private property. Interesting. Well, I was told that we could bike here. And he's like, yeah, I think a lot of people were told that, but now we're getting a lot of complaints from the community. He's like, you're cool today, but just...
I just want to know what the rule is.
I know. And he's like...
It didn't even seem like he knew the rule.
I don't know if he even did. He's just been told to enforce, to keep outsiders out. I think he was just like, you're just this mom and a kid, and I have to come heckle you, and I don't want to, but this is what I'm told to do. But anyway, he was really cool, and I was just like, that's fine. And Yeah, so we have neighbors that are on a guest list. They're like, listen, if you just want to tell them that you're us and then give them this address, you're cool. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can just lie all the time.
You look like yeah.
I look like a?
You look like a Cessia.
I look like a Cessia. Yeah, right? There's no judgment, right? But anyway, so yeah, it was just funny being told, like, yeah, I don't know if you can do this anymore. I'm like, that's fine. We can play by the rules.
Or not.
Or the new rules that are being written now. But either way, it was an awesome day and look forward to more days. However we get over there.
Yeah, you'll make it happen.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm grateful for the Easter visitors that we had this weekend. We had some.
They were lovely.
Yeah, we had some friends come up from North Carolina. They've been trying to come up here for a better part of a year and finally made it happen. They have 2 girls, Lucille's age, and kids had an amazing time. We had a great time exploring and showing them why we fell in love with the Charlottesville area. And, they got to spend some time with us and get to see what we do day in and day out. And it was just awesome. We had just a fantastic time, great catching up with friends, great seeing the kids playing together and interacting. So yeah, it was just an overall amazing weekend, which has capped, a pretty epic last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I feel like we've just been surrounded by a lot of good people, and it's been extremely cup filling.
Yeah, which is a reason why we didn't have an episode last week, which is why we're just going to kind of shoot the shit and share some good shit today.
Yeah, so I guess we can start with our travel, right?
Yeah.
So was that last week or the week
so
before?
We left, yeah. We traveled. So let's talk about we traveled to Delaware to go see my folks. We stayed with them for a couple of days. Got to catch up with some friends. Then to Ocean City to hang with your mom, and then back to where we grew up in Millersville, Maryland, to help your sister and our brother-in-law out with their kids. But that's kind of the short version of it. But there's obviously a lot that happened in between there.
Yeah. Well, Delaware. It's so great to see your parents and to get Lucille time with them. And I feel like I can breathe a little bit more and have more long walks to myself, which is such a joy. I like savor and I seize the long walks when I can. Like, hey, do you mind? And they're like, sure. And your mom always has like great cooking activities and crafts for Lucille to do. So I always take that as an opportunity to like soak in long podcast walks, and she's got a pretty flat neighborhood, which is nice just to like stroll.
Ain't no hills in Delaware.
And there's no crazy traffic, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. I can just literally stroll and consume uplifting information at my disposal, which is so great. And just explore what Delaware has to offer. I feel like we're still learning what's in that area. Like we visit some cute coffee shops. I already found a bakery where I like to go and get like really good sourdough. So it's fun finding little small businesses we can support and farms that provide really, really good food, and doing that. And then did you want to add anything to your Delaware trip?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's again the ultimate flexibility of being able to work from wherever. And just, my parents have a nice little office set up that I just go in, plug in, and I'm doing my thing. So that's nice. It's nice being able to walk their neighborhood. They have a very large neighborhood that you can walk for probably a couple hours and not walk in the same place twice. But yeah, I mean that's great. It's always great seeing my parents interacting with Lucille, and Lucille just becoming so much more open with them and being more affectionate with them and just wanting to be around them. It's just awesome to see that kind of stuff. As she gets older, as she knows what's going on. She knows when she's going over there, she's doing some baking stuff, like you said, crafts and all that good stuff. So she really looks forward to that. She likes to wear her clothes that my mom, gets her as well. So it's just, nice to see those things all come together. And of course, we got to see some good friends that live down the road from my parents' house. They came over for dinner one night. It was just really awesome to be able to catch up with them, hear what's going on with their business venture that they've been doing there in Delaware. And if you're going to Delaware and you want to have a very unique beach experience, check out my friends at Beach and Bash. Yeah.
Good plug.
I know. Always got to plug plug my friends and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool. You'll have to check them out. But yeah, no, Delaware was awesome. It was just really great to be able to see my folks. And then I even went back to their place on the following Monday because we were in Ocean City over the weekend, and we decided to stay an extra day, and the Wi-Fi in the place that we stay is not great. Plus having all the kids around wouldn't have made a very conducive work environment. So I was able to head back up to my parents one more day and work up there and get to see them one more time before heading back home.
Yeah, and Ocean City, my mom always rents out the same condo, and it's like oceanfront. It's beautiful. You can hear the waves and just wake up to the sunrise. It's pretty ridiculous.
Pretty nice sunrises, yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. But we found a new coffee shop on the way, and we got to stop at the farm, which is like just new little things we get to do. So we picked up some really good quality meat and cheese.
Some bacon.
And milk and bacon, yeah. And we found a new coffee shop that had some banging breakfast bowls and sandwiches.
And it was carnivore friendly too. They had a protein bowl that was straight eggs, bacon, and sausage. I was like, yes, please, I will have that.
Yeah, and the coffee was local, and that was delectable. And it was a little windy in Ocean City that weekend.
A little is an understatement.
But we still got some beach walks. The kids got out there, even the sand beating against them. They were troopers.
Yeah,
they still
got in
out.
the ocean.
They did.
It was cold, 47 degrees.
We found there's a big park we always go to, so we went there and got to walk around. And my mom has never been there. It's funny, she's gone to Ocean City for a long time, and she never even knew that was there. So it was fun to introduce some spots that we have found for my mom, just for walking. And it was nice just so my sister joined us as well with her 3 kiddos, so we got to soak in those babes, and my mom babysat, and we all 3 had a lovely adult night out at a amazing restaurant called One Coastal, if you guys are ever in Delaware.
Or Ocean City.
It's really close. And amazing farm fresh food, really unique dishes, great freaking cocktails.
Yep. Service is awesome too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Our waiter told us 3 epic stories for 3 different dishes, and you just want to order whatever he talks about, because you're he was talking about the catfish that they had on their menu, about the diet of the catfish, and how, they don't just eat, scum, he's like, they eat scallops and they eat this. And I'm just like, yeah, I want that. Yeah. Just put it in my mouth now.
Yeah. I was going to go for the steak, and he convinced me on that too. So, and it was every bit as delicious as he described it.
Yeah. So Ocean City was lovely. It was very sandy, very windy, and we were watching some show my mom's been into, because the cable there is kind of strange. And
goodness gracious, I can't believe this show, Midsummer Murders.
Oh my God, it's so addicting though.
It really is.
And you really, for me, they fooled me every time. I was trying to predict who the killer was, and I'm like, damn it, they got me again. I really enjoyed it, and the kids could actually watch
got
it too.
Into it.
They did. It was really fun. So it's always fun just to have different scenery and just that environment. You just, you dive deep into whatever it is, and it's just fun to see how the kids react and what roles. And it was just all good stuff, good people, good food, good beverages.
Absolutely.
And then we
headed back to Maryland.
Yeah.
Had 2 days there.
Yep, got to watch my sister's kids to kind of help my mom out, because she needed a much needed vacation. So got to watch the kiddos, get them outside, just watch them play, get my baby time in with my youngest niece, who's 4 or 5 months now.
5 months, going on 6.
Yeah, and I still it's weird. I put on the baby carrier that I bought for Lucille, the Ergo, and I'm just I feel like I was not as nimble, trying to get Letty into it. Her name is Colette, but they call her Letty. And I was like, man, I feel like I used to be really fast with this thing. And I was trying to get my hand in certain areas. I'm like, I got to practice the Ergo baby again. I feel like I'm not as savvy as I used to be. But I kind of, it's nostalgic, baby wearing. So I kind of miss that about when Lucille was so little, just being able to put her on a backpack in my front and just going where I want to go.
Yeah.
So it's fun to kind of relive certain stages of my life in that season, and just savor that time with my sister's kiddos and be there for her because she works full time, and just soak in time with my cousin as well. And yeah. And my dad came in town. I was going to
say even your dad, because we got to see all the grandparents this past week.
Holy cow. So many good people coming in. Got to spend a little bit of time with my dad, which is nice. We may see him next weekend and kind of meet halfway and do some kind of meetup, which would be really fun, which we've done before. But yeah, so had that time. Did I skip any? Did I miss anything?
No, we pretty much had it all covered. You know, we had an opportunity to go out with Lucille and have some sushi. And when we were in Maryland at one of our favorite sushi spots, in fact, the place where Jill and I had our first date, and Lucille housed, I mean, almost an entire adult-sized chicken fried rice. Very proud moment.
And she was using the chopsticks.
And she was using the kid chopsticks, for a little bit until she finally was like, you know what, I need a spoon. So couldn't fault her at that point. She gave it the good old college try.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. That was really blissful too.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that was great. And then we came back. We basically had a day to recover from our festivities. Did some grocery shopping, and then we had some friends coming into town that I had mentioned at the top of the podcast in our gratitude segment there. And yeah, it was just a crazy awesome weekend. Yeah,
we had this pretty epic Easter egg hunt that they throw at a local park. This park is freaking huge too. And we did it last year, and we probably talked about it last year too, but I love it because they keep it concise and to the point.
Yes.
And it's fun for me as an adult. Like, I feel like I'm at that stage where I think we talked about it, that I don't want to do anything that doesn't seem like it's going to be fun for us. Like, it could be kid friendly, but if it's not like something that Nick and I are really going to enjoy, we're like, yeah, we'll pass. But so it starts at 10, and they literally blow a foghorn or blowhorn. Air horn. Yeah. Foghorn's probably really loud.
Is there a boat coming into the coast here?
We're going to burst some young baby eardrums here. Yeah, so they blow the horn, and right at 10 a.m. Like, if you're a minute late, you're going to miss it.
You done missed it.
And the kids just run free, and they divide them by ages, so it's not like big kids are like trampling little kids. So we got to move over to the bigger kids section.
We did.
We were in like the 3 and under section, and now we're in like the 4 through 6 section.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh. So anyway, we got to invite our friends to come along, and just there's so many eggs, and it was just so fun watching them like greet the Easter bunny and just like go after the eggs or not go after the eggs and just kind of stare at them and put them in their basket, and just see people we know in the community there, because I feel like everyone in our vicinity goes there if they have little ones. So it was just a really sweet morning, and then we kind of diverged and did our own things.
Yeah, we had to go to the farm, pick up our meat, because we had been out of meat, or we were running low. So we got restocked on some delicious farm, grass-fed, grass-finished beef and pork and all that good stuff.
And we had such a nourishing conversation with Robin, who works at the farm.
Yeah.
And I feel like I
could talk to her for hours.
Oh my gosh. I think they're like just such small moments that they really like just make your day, when you're able to like to connect with someone who's very like open-minded and has similar values. It's always nice to like have the time and space just to have those conversations and just realize like, wow, I'm not alone in this, and there's so much good around me, and I'm just grateful that we have the time and space to like, we probably said this on another episode, just actually know where our food comes from, and just to talk about the beauty and this, the area that we're in. So it was, and we also got like, Lucille got to see the donkeys and pet them, and like the chickens are roaming and the working dogs. Like, it's cool that Lucille gets to see what, like, we may not own a farm, and that's cool, but it's cool that we have access to take the time to show her like where food comes from, and the animals and all the responsibilities that goes hand in hand with that. So it's really I'm just really excited for what we have around us.
Yeah. Yeah. And, with our friends in town, it really kind of reminds us that, this is an awesome area. We get to maybe go to places that we hadn't been in a long time. That reminds us of, why we moved down here and why we love the people and all that stuff. So no, it was really great to be able to do the farm and then to just go to other places in the area and even go to places that we've never been before. So
we're going to take you to our favorite bakery. This is where I'm obsessed with their sourdough. Which we ate a lot of this weekend. I was like,
sourdough, yeah.
We don't do a lot of side dishes here. We do a lot of meat and eggs and cheese, and we can get down with a lot of sourdough. That's so right. We just ate the F out of some sourdough,
yeah.
And they brought home a giant loaf, and I'm like, and I think she took a picture of it the next morning when they got back home, and she showed me she was eating it, and I'm like, that's right. You come back now. But, yeah, I mean, it was just great. We had breweries, cideries. I mean, we conquered a lot in that weekend. We had parks, a lot of sun, a lot of good eating. We had a date night. We had a double date. We found a babysitter. Our neighbor found one, and I just want to shout out from the rooftops how amazing it is to have access to somebody that's reliable, that we feel safe with, that we can pay good money to watch our children while we go out.
I'd babysit for that amount of money.
And we had this amazing double date at one of our favorite restaurants in Charlottesville, and it was so lovely.
Yeah. But yeah, it was an awesome weekend, awesome couple weeks, a lot of good things happening. Now you've got some pivots that are happening, some fresh things that have started this week with your new job, which you talked about in our last episode.
Yeah.
Which is a great episode, by the way. We've gotten a lot of great feedback on that. So if you haven't listened to our last episode, check it out.
And it's funny, I just had a phone call with a dear friend who had a very serendipitous experience where she said that she accepted a new job, and she was just like it was meant to happen. Like, there was no force or friction. Everything just happened with ease. And I love hearing more people share those stories of those moments when the universe is opening doors or calling to you and putting opportunities, and then you just accept them and go towards them, even though it may be scary, it may be different, it's uncomfortable. Like, how blissful it is to just experience that and to share that with others, because I know there's like a lot of fear that can come with big changes.
Totally.
So that's what the episode was kind of about.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. But yeah, you've had to do some preparing, I'm sure some mental preparation and stuff like that to start your new gig here.
Yeah, I kind of had this reflection, just the importance of, I guess we'd call them margins, like leaving space in between things, which can be hard. I feel like sometimes you want to overlap and do, and sometimes space can be uncomfortable in stillness of just like, I don't know, embracing that limbo in between stage. And right now I'm thinking on like, now that I'm taking on this new responsibility with this amazing job, it's 2 days a week. It's like, where do I leave margin for more space? Because that is a huge chunk of energy spent.
Right.
With other kids, with other amazing people. I've connected with new parents and heard their stories, and that's so great. But that's a lot of energy it takes out of me. And the first day I got back, like Tuesday was my first day. I got back home and I was like, Nick, I just need to lay down. I just need some time. Like, I feel like it's been a while since I exuded that much energy in a while for like, and that was like a pretty long day at that point. It was probably like 6.5 hours total, just cause I had to get there early and set up. So yeah, I'm excited to see, the rhythm that comes with it, what changes come around that, because I know, because this is taking up a lot of energy and space that I'm choosing. It's like, what am I going to let go and loosen my grip with? So already thinking about that, I'm going to be letting go my nanny job because it's just way too much. So it's just the importance of margins and leaving space for in between things.
Yeah.
And a great example is when we were in Maryland, we could have possibly stayed one more day, but the fact that we were hosting and going to have company, it would have been like back to back. And I mean, I could have done that and I would have lost my sanity. So it's like, I was like, Nick, it'd be really great. And he agreed that we have this space, that we just create that space and choose that to just settle in at home, take care of some things. I can grocery shop, I can clean, I can just have a breath. I can just breathe in and out and just get my head wrapped around like we're going to be inputting energy for a guest, which I love doing. But I definitely see the importance of like creating that space in between things. And it may be a big space or maybe a little bit of space, but I'm kind of in that process right now, figuring out what to let go of since I'm accepting something bigger and exciting, which is awesome. Like,
absolutely. But yeah, to your point, it was definitely a good call that we came home and got that extra day in, just because we needed it. We needed to reset. There was a lot of things to do around the house. We had got to get it clean, got to get the room set up, got to get bathrooms ready to go, the extra guest bedroom. So like we definitely needed that. And then grocery shopping on top of that. Like that's just a lot to try to get done in a very short window. So yeah, it made all the difference, and I think set us up for all the greatness that happened this past weekend.
Yeah. And it's funny. I don't know how much I would have thought about, like, I thought about all the things to do, like the physical things, but now I feel like I really try to preserve like my mental state now. It's just like, I know I have a lot of things to do, but also I want time to just be like, I just want time by myself or to take a long walk and to not do. So it's interesting how I'm putting more value and thought into my mental space more than ever, which I guess, I don't know if it comes with growing older, with wisdom, whatever you call it. It just feels like I'm just tapping more into like my needs and communicating them to you. And I'm so grateful that you give me those margins and allow me to have that time. And I'm still working on not feeling guilty for it. Like if something really amazing that I did last Sunday when our friends left, we had that day, which was amazing, to just like be together and like tidy up the house and, get things together. I had to go to the public library, and my goal was just to get some books for farm school or for the orchard program. And I got the library books pretty quickly, found them very fast. And I'm walking in my car about to come back home, and there's trails right behind our library, which is just awesome. And I was just like, I need a walk, and the sun is beautiful and the weather is perfect. And I was like, and I didn't communicate this to Nick that I was going to go to the library and then do a hike, but I felt
I thought somebody abducted her.
And maybe I should have just shot you a text just saying, hey, Nick, decided to go for a walk. I'll be back later, but I'll do that in the future. But it was just calling me, and I dropped the books off and I was like, fuck it. I dropped my guilt off in the car as well, in the bag. I was like, I'm going on a walk by myself, and I don't really hike by myself often. So I did it. I feel really safe in these trails. So I did a pretty fucking awesome hike by myself. So many thoughts just popping up. It's weird. Like, I'm not used to hiking by myself, so I'm used to just like communicating with Lucille, playing games and all this stuff. And I've never just had so much space to just be, and then just also like what comes up. Because I feel like when I go for walks in the neighborhood, usually I'm listening to a podcast. But when I'm hiking, I don't like to listen to anything. I just like to be in nature and hear the birds or whatever comes up. And just in case there's a bear behind me, I'm like nimble and ready to go. But seriously, that does cross my mind.
You're supposed to fight the bear.
I'm supposed to run if I'm menstruating. No, you never run from bears. I forgot.
Depends. We have black bears around here, so you actually do want to fight them and not run away from them.
Oh, shit. I need to up my skills with bear survival.
You want to yell, make yourself big, and bop them in the face.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a rhyme that we teach kids about this. Bop them in the face.
Bop them.
So yeah, I felt like that. It sounds like so silly and small, but that was a big deal. Like letting go of guilt to just do what felt right for me and just to pour into myself. So I've been trying to do that more often and not feel so guilty, because mom guilt, like most moms know, it's a thing. And it's been feeling good to let that go. And again, I'm grateful for you, my amazing partner, who just listens, accepts, and lets me do what feels right for me, as I would do for you.
Yeah, no, we communicate very well when we need time, and we take that time, except for when you just decide to take a walk after the library and don't tell me that you're going on that, and I think that things are going... No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to report your every motion to me.
I'm creating my own margin right now, and I'm going to get myself a freaking hike in.
There you go.
And it was...
I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else good you want to share for the cause here, Jilly?
For the cause. I probably rambled enough now, but I'm excited for the big margin that we're going to have for this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying and exciting, and it's going to be so uncomfortable. Not like this is our routine. Like once a week we do this, and the fact that Simplify Chaos is going to be resting in a couple episodes, it's like we're going to have this really big limbo stage of like what's going to happen, how are we going to be, what's going to open up, and it's I don't know. I'm just like I'm thinking more about it now that we're getting closer to 200.
Yeah. We do have plans, folks. Don't you worry.
We do have plans.
We have plans. We're not going away completely, but there will be a nice little break.
Yeah.
But we will talk about that in our last episodes because you gotta have to hang on. We've got 2 more great episodes coming up here. So yeah, a lot to look forward to here. But yes, the margin between what's now and what's then will be very nice. But anyways, Jilly, you got any resources for our dear listeners today?
I do. I found a blog post titled 5 Ways to Create Space in Your Life. Since I feel like I was diving deep into margins, I'm like, this feels right for this episode.
All right. I like it.
All right. The need for space. Space, or what we'll call margin, is the boundaries. The rest purposely built into your everyday life. It is the space between your load and your limits. You could say margin is the gap between rest and exhaustion, the space between breathing freely and suffocating. We don't need a ton of it, but we need it. Here are some suggestions on adding margin in your life, breaking the cycle of busyness, and creating a life well lived. Number 1, schedule 15 minutes between activities. Give yourself space to catch up if something is running behind and prepare you for what is ahead. Even if you don't need the time, a quick break is always welcome. Number 2, create a morning routine. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour morning routine, and you don't have to make grand plans to bask in relaxation. While you certainly can do those things, we're looking for time and space for you to breathe. Tip number 3, stick to 5 priorities a day. This is funny because I only do 3. I create margin myself. It may seem like a great idea to keep adding to your to-do list, but it doesn't always pan out well. Whether you are a list person or not, believing that you can tackle a massive to-do list is an unrealistic belief. Tip number 4, be proactive rather than reactive. Instead of reacting to life, because there will always be a curveball, begin to live proactively. Take the stressful situations and plan for them. If you want to wake up and start running, set your clothes out the night before and enlist a friend to go with. Don't wait for perfection, but live knowing the perfect day doesn't exist. It will ever only be what you make it. Tip number 5, limit social media. Instead of filling your downtime and space by checking your phone, schedule time to do it. Whether that is 30 minutes a day to scroll, schedule it and stick to it, opening up all kinds of space to do things that fill you up. And I never thought to schedule scroll time.
Yeah,
that's an interesting way to look at it.
It is usually just when you are trying to have some space or some margin, and you just end up picking it up because you're not abiding by the margin.
So I thought that was just interesting reminders.
Yeah.
Even for myself, like, progress, and just good reminders that, it'd be nice to have just those things if I'm not intentional about it, or I find them going to the wayside, like to remind myself that like that would really help create more rest in my days.
Absolutely.
Which is always needed.
Yeah. That's a good find there, Jilly.
Yeah.
All right. How about the quote of the day? What you got?
The quote of the day. Space isn't something you have to create. It's simply a choice to live. Space is always there, and it's recognizing it and using it. Focusing on cultivating it rather than creating it.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a big quote.
It was. It needed to be.
It needed to be.
All together.
Absolutely. All right. Take action challenge. Besides, listen to our next 2 episodes.
I just hope everyone else is just creating some margins in their life,
Do it.
Give yourself some space.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. It's not something you create. It's a choice to live. So live with margins, people.
Well said. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for today's episode. If you like this episode, please do us a favor and still spread the message, because this podcast will still be up long after we're done to episode 200. You can do this by writing a review, or you can simply share this episode with a friend. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation, conversation leads to action, and action is how we're able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. We want to thank you all for listening today, and we will see you again next week.
See y'all later.